Hi, welcome back to my little channel on YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. I just finished posting my 10-part magnetic speaking skills series. And if you've been following along, you know how much I care about helping people become more powerfully connected, more embodied communicators, and not just in public speaking or on stages, but in business, in relationship, and in life. So, in this little window between that series and the one I'm about to start called Intimate Connection, I thought I'd drop in for a casual tips and talks moment, which I have not done for a while. This next series, we're going to go deeper into sex and love and relationship and intimacy. I'm hoping to bring you new guests on topics that are related, as well as possibly some repeat guests who you've enjoyed in the past. And so I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling curious. I'm having fun planning the topics. And before we begin recording and before I begin publishing those, I thought I would share a little something that emerged just a few days ago in a conversation with my friend and mentor and my hypnotherapy teacher, JD Garrett. JD and I are both coaches who see ourselves as integral coaches, meaning we take information from many different areas and different domains and we merge them together to make something greater. And we're both highly focused on mastery, but also on relationship. He is at the beginning of what seems like it could be a very beautiful long-term partnership. And I am 7 years post divorce from a 20-year marriage. So between us, there's a lot of lived wisdom, a lot of experience, and also a lot of curiosity. We like to create structures, and so I thought I'd share this one that we came up with you as a little bit of a preamble, a little bit of a teaser for the new series. So we mapped out a simple but interesting, powerful framework asking what really matters for a conscious long-term relationship. And what we came up with, I'm calling the 4 elements of conscious relationship. The first element is sovereignty. This is the foundation. And I've talked about the relationship between sovereignty and connection in another video. I'll put it here. This is the point and the importance of each person being fully responsible for their own experience, their own emotions, their own history. This means not outsourcing your needs, not projecting your wounds onto a partner, and not expecting the other person to complete you. This is a little radical in our relational space because Disney movies and storybooks and romance novels often have us thinking that we need to merge in that way. And there's some gender differences between what kind of expectations and needs we ask the other to fulfill. But this is not about independence instead of connection. Sovereignty is about being anchored in yourself so that you can deeply connect from another place, from a grounded place. In fact, it's the opposite of codependence. It's the inner knowing that I'm responsible for me, you're responsible for you, and we get to meet from that place. The second element I'm calling the bridge. This is where connection happens, where if both people are committed to going deeper and have the willingness to build the tools, have the desire to build the bridge between those two sovereign places, then they can go deeper. And this is where things like communication skills, embodiment practices, breath work, sexuality, and the willingness to sit in what might not come easily lives. Because the truth is that most of us do not have communication skills. We do not have connection skills. So it's not easy. And if we're committed to developing those skills, sometimes we're going to bump up against things that are difficult. And so there's a need in this second element of the bridge that requires having a commitment to reach across that space between you to say, I want to meet you. I want to understand. I want to be connected, even though it might be hard. The third element is an understanding of and a commitment to growing through love, growing through relationship. You could call it simply growth mindset, which is a concept that many people have, but it's specifically having a growth mindset in connection with relationship, because all relationships are an opportunity to evolve who we are, to learn and to grow. And a conscious relationship isn't just about comfort. If you try to make it about ease and simplicity and never facing anything hard, it's probably not going to be for the long term. Rather, conscious relationships are about the ability to evolve together, to grow and to learn and to change. And there's a kind of sacred alchemy that happens when we're committed to letting love grow us together, when we're committing to using relationship to evolve. Sometimes the biggest transformations can happen because of the connection, because it might bring up something difficult for one or the other person. Maybe your partner reflects something back to you or challenges you or even loves you right where you are, which could be uncomfortable, and invites you into more. This speaks to the fact that relationships and connection can be messy, and there can be misunderstandings and moments when you wonder if it is worth it. But if you're committed to growing, both from the positive things that you're experiencing together and also the challenges, then you've got this third element as part of your long-term conscious relationship. So you stay and you learn and you let it shape you. But regardless of who you are, how perfect you are, how well you have all these elements functioning in your relationship, things are going to happen. There are going to be mistakes. There are going to be ruptures. There are going to be circumstances that require repair. So repair is the fourth element. And what matters in repair is, do I have the willingness to let my ego soften so I can take responsibility for the parts in the interaction that are on me? Am I willing to learn or to use the tools needed to come back together? So this is about clearing resentment. It's about specific types of communication that let us name the impact and listen, understand each other, meet even in the difficulty, and then fixing it by repairing it in whatever that means. It could mean acknowledging the damage that you did or finding a way to confidently agree to not let it happen again. But it talks about the willingness to come back together when there has been a rupture. So it usually involves naming the impact, staying connection in the disagreement, clearing that resentment, and having a new plan. It's not just about saying sorry. It's really about restoring trust in the connection. So those are the four elements: sovereignty, the bridge, and the ability and willingness to grow through love, and the tools for repair. This is not a formula. It's not a checklist. It's a map or uh, a vision for ways that we could be orienting the skills and the commitment that we have in a long-term relationship to develop more consciousness around how we connect. And so as I transition into this next series on intimate connection, which will go deeper into sex and intimacy, polarity, and relational healing, this is a sort of preview or a teaser. not polished, not finished. In fact, I might even do this video again as part of the series, but something that I'm thinking about right now. And I'd love to hear how it lands with you, if you relate, or if the other things that you think I've missed. Leave a comment if you have something to share, or let me know what you believe the foundations of lasting love are, because I'd honestly love to hear from you. And stay tuned for Intimate Connection, the series, because we're going there. It's time. It's the other side of the communication landscape that applies to our relationships and love, instead of how we've looked at magnetic speaking skills as tools for showing up in business. Because the truth is, they're all the same skills with slightly different applications, because how you show up in one place is how you show up in the other. And I am here for your mastery and for the magnetic aspects of how you communicate and how you deepen your connection with the people who matter to you. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that button because you don't want to miss what's coming. And I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, there's a video YouTube thinks you will like here and the magnetic speaking skills series here.